Hello, Vita Howard here. Family, I was trying to be good. It's impossible. So it's just going to be what it is. I have the absolute pleasure to finally sit down. We do the in passing. This is my first time being able to sit down with award-winning recording artist, entrepreneur, actress, certified ray of sunshine.
Oh, thank you.
The one and only Yolanda Adams.
Thank you
Hello,
so
girl.
much, Vita.
I'm so excited.
Now, before we started rolling, we
yes.
talked about how long we've known each other.
It's been a long
It's a
time.
long time. Taylor's 23, so that means close to 30 years.
Probably.
Close
And
to
I
30
remember
years.
because Taylor is the same age as my niece and nephew. I
Yes,
have twin niece and nephew.
absolutely.
And they got nerve to grow up and stuff.
I know, and then be grown, and then
What's that all about?
it's what they do.
It's what
because
they're
we
supposed
had
to
to do it too.
We did too.
Yeah, we did.
I tell my niece and nephews, like, well, Grandma, I said, well, Grandma changed both of our diapers. So think about it
Absolutely.
from her
So think about
perspective. She was like, Auntie Vita, I'm just trying to give you perspective, Alexis. Well, since we started with that, let's go ahead.
Yes.
Let's just change the reunion tour.
Yes.
Awesome. I told her
Yes.
they did roof damage in Atlanta, and I was there a little bit. The ceiling fell on my head, but I just brushed it off and kept praising.
Hilarious. The reunion tour has been such a blessing. I'm on tour with some of the most phenomenal people in the world. The Clark sisters, number one.
Jesus.
Legends beyond legends. Fred Hammond, Marvin Sapp, Kirk Franklin, Kiara Sheard. It's just, we've had so much fun.
It was, we could feel it.
Yeah.
And that's why, like I was trying to post a little recap, which is what I normally do, and I kept looking at my phone. I was overwhelmed. I was like, never
Yes.
mind, y'all just go
Yeah,
see it. Just
'cause
go see it.
It's so much. We go from, one thing to another to another. There are really no breaks.
No, you're all y'all
And
working.
and you weave everything in there, and it's so much fun. We have like 4 or 5 changes and stuff like that, and
Beautiful.
But
Now,
it's interesting that the guys only have like 2 changes.
don't they always have it easy? And they just pat their head and keep going, and we got to spray it down.
What is that?
See, but you know we love it though.
Yes, we do.
Speaking of changes, you posted something, and I saw Donald Lawrence commented, and you said that Taylor is dealing with wardrobe.
Taylor is my tour stylist. She is the reason I look as fancy and as fly as I look on a daily basis. She has, brought her 23-year-old eye into the fashion. And she's like, Mom, no, I don't like that with that. But you're going to wear this with that and that. And then sometimes I have to like sit back because I still am the mom.
Exactly.
I'm
like,
still
you're not
the
gonna tell
mom.
Me,
Okay,
right,
you're
right.
right.
And I said that because you mentioned her 23. When I saw that comment, and I was still reeling from the notion of Kiara on stage singing with her
Yes.
mother, their brother Drew up there breaking the drum set,
Absolutely.
and I'm just grinning and smirking like I'm somebody's great grandmama.
No, because you remember.
I do, and I'm like, Taylor's your stylist. I said, so the legacy. Speak to legacy.
Oh, legacy is so important.
Yes.
That, it's part of your life, whether you believe it or whether you know it or not.
There you go. You're leaving one.
You're leaving one. And I would recall when my father was living and people would ask me, are you going to run track like your dad? Are you going to run track like your dad? And I said, no, I like tennis and I like music. And so they were like, well, you need to do what your dad did. And my dad would, when we would get in the car, my dad was like, you don't ever have to do what I do.
Praise God.
But I do want you to love what you do. Because if you love what you do, you'll never have to worry about anything. You'll do it in excellence. Not only do it in excellence, but opportunities will pop up for you. And I'm like, wow.
That's a key.
And so I learned that from him. And so it was the same thing with Taylor. Taylor loves to act. She loves to produce. She loves to write and direct.
Wow.
So I told her at a young age, probably when she could understand what I did for a living, probably around 5 or 6, I said, Taylor, you never in your life have to sing gospel music. I don't want to put that pressure on you.
Right.
I want you to love what you do because your grandfather told me that whatever I do in excellence, it will be rewarded.
It will.
And so now she has like 3 movies on Tubi, and it's just, she's working. Yeah.
Miss Taylor.
Miss Taylor.
I love it.
Yeah.
Legacy is so important. And again,
Yes.
whether you're intentionally leaving one or not, you are leaving a legacy.
Absolutely.
So it would be in your best interest to be still and think about what that is. That really
Yes.
blessed me. Just the children, like I'm somebody's great grand.
Yes.
The
No, no, no,
children,
no.
the children.
I know what you
Yolanda,
mean.
the babies,
The
they out there
babies.
growing and doing
Yes,
things.
yeah.
That's a beautiful thing. And you mentioned it's been a long time. I never said to you while I was at Hampton as a student, you came
Yes.
and sang at our gospel choir anniversary.
Absolutely.
So been watching you a while, and I have always, a hashtag I always use on social media is squeeze life.
Yes, yes, yes.
And for me, that is kind of doing what your dad said, like, do you,
Yes.
don't let anybody box you.
Oh, absolutely.
And you are an exquisite example of that. From the music, from the business, a lot of people didn't realize you are the businesswoman.
But
You've
it's
been
all
the-
purposeful.
Right. But you are squeezing life the way God set you to squeeze it.
Absolutely.
Running the race
I've
before you.
told people forever that my favorite part of Ecclesiastes 5:20 is the B part of that verse that says, God keeps me busy with the joy of my heart.
My, my, my.
I have lived that Vita for years. God keeps me busy with the joy of my heart.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And that goes back to what your dad
Goes back
meant.
to what my dad said.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. And I think it's so important. I just get excited when people are, you can tell, like you're saying, when you're doing what you're supposed to do, it doesn't mean you need to be in a box. Craig Groeschel has a quote that if you want to reach people you've never reached before, you're going to have to do something you've never done before.
Absolutely.
And so when we all do what we're supposed to be doing, whatever that looks like, then everything works out.
Yes, it does. And, people are comfortable, and I say this all the time, people are comfortable putting you in a place that they'll never put themselves.
You don't know anything about this. Where are you going to put me in a box? Right.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, so you've never lived my life. You've never experienced my experiences.
right.
But you think that the limitation you want for me is appropriate for me? Nah, I'm going to sit that one
I'm
out.
good.
You got that.
I'm good.
You got that.
I'm going to do me.
Like
Lord.
Tamar says, get your life.
Get you all the way together. Oh, I appreciate it so. So now recently,
Yes.
I saw an interview and something was mentioned with you in this interview.
Yes.
And it's something that I've been wanting to ask you for decades. Again, this is our first time sitting down.
Yes.
So I'm not going to mention the year because we don't need to know all that. But it was the year I graduated from college.
Yes.
For those who went to college with me.
Yes.
I am working with the International Association of African American Music. Shout out Deanna Williams.
Yes.
We went to London. It's my first international trip, and I was hustling to get that passport. You want to go? Yeah, let me figure this out. What we got to do? We didn't have the Googles back then, children. We didn't have the Googles. We didn't have the Googles, but I had to figure it out. But we
Yes.
get there, took a delegation of music industry people, artists, the Yolanda Adams, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis,
Yes.
and Gamble and Huff were there.
Yes, they were.
A number, Jean Carn,
Jean Carn.
she slayed a club there. They know about music.
Oh,
over there.
absolutely. Wasn't Miss Linda Jones there as well?
Probably, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Amazing. So as this delegation is doing different things in London, we're on a motor coach headed to wherever, maybe the House of Commons or something. And behind me was a record executive who shall remain nameless, who was trying his best to pitch Miss Yolanda to come on over to that major label and sing pop music, mainstream. And Yolanda, you were
his was worse than pop music. Because he was, those of you who saw the Breakfast Club interview, you heard what he was trying to get me to do. This man was trying to get me to do the butterfly.
like that.
And just like-
okay.
The butterfly, that's old. And everybody, Tootsie Roll. No, I'm just playing. No, but what made him think, upon looking at me and being introduced to me, that would be something that, all my life, I always wanted to do the butterfly.
Finally,
What?
the door has been
The
opened.
door has been opened.
Here I come. Butterfly on.
What? And what was crazy was the name of the song, Butterfly You, Butterfly Me. I'm like, I'm done.
I didn't even know he had a song. I didn't know. He was literally behind me. And Yolanda, you were so gracious. Oh, no, thank you. No. And by the 811th time he said something, I almost turned around. with my newly graduated self and say, that'll be enough. She was speaking in English, which goes to the fact that on this journey, especially in the music industry, look, in the music industry, you have to know who you are. And that's in everything, even what I do, commercials, other opportunities. I won't be doing. I'm good, thank you. Somebody can do that. That's not my story to tell.
Absolutely.
At what point, and your upbringing is very solid. At what point do you realize you had extra vertebrae? And I know who Yolanda Adams is.
Oh my gosh. I'm the oldest of 6 kids.
Okay.
So I kind of grew up knowing that. Again, shout out to my dad and my mom who made sure that we knew who we were before we left the house.
Beautiful.
Because your greatest inspiration and your greatest mentorship should start in your home.
Absolutely.
And I am very thankful that mine started in my home. And my mom and dad were very strong people who put those same strong attributes and characteristics in us. First of all, it's innate because we're born from both of them. But to know that you don't have to be like anyone else. You don't have to share the same interest. You don't have to share the same views as anyone else. Have your own opinion, but know why you have your own opinion. And don't just base it on because I said so. No, base it on facts that support your theory. And because my dad was very logical and analytical, he was a coach. So he had to be, and my mom, music theory, very analytical, and, but she had that artistic thing in her. And I had the best of both worlds.
That is a
No
blessing.
limitations. No, you can't do this, you can't do that. Look, God was cool enough to go to the skating rink with us and go to church with us on Sunday. So, I didn't have all of that crazy stuff that some people had. So I didn't have that put on me from my family. So I definitely wasn't going to let somebody outside of those walls tell me what I could and could not do. What I could and could not do, especially if I knew God told me.
That's amazing. And then you really don't, that affects people so much because even like once I moved here, different people's church experiences are different. My parents never said, oh, that's not a good idea.
Yes.
Like, once I picked my major in college, my mom said she was nervous because it was mass media arts.
Yes.
Oh, that's cutthroat. But she didn't even say that till I was like graduated.
Absolutely.
So they never tried to hinder me. So there was never a thought of, oh, I can't do that because I've never seen anyone do it.
Absolutely.
Which is, you have to be very careful if you have children or you in the sphere of other children to don't set limits.
Absolutely not. And don't speak your fears onto your child.
I think we have a wisdom nugget. You'll hear this quote from her on the show.
Do
Don't
not
speak your fears into your
absolutely
child.
never speak your fears on your child because that's an undue burden that they didn't ask for, number
It can
one.
change the course of their
And
life.
it can change the course of everything for them.
Yeah, that is real. Oh, Yolanda. Oh, Yolanda. Okay, new music. Now, a lot of
Yes.
people, this is your first album. She been working, child. This is just the right.
It's the first studio album in 13 years.
It's not like she's been taking a nap for.
No.
She's wide awake, everyone. Working and doing very well. Sunny days, church doors.
Yes.
So we know the journey. How does this feel to be back at it again? Tour life is not spot date life, so this is all.
No, this
new
is
album tour.
Yes.
So are we like, all right?
Oh, yeah.
I remember this is riding a bicycle.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Muscle memory.
There you go.
It's God could not have picked the perfect time for the album to come out. Now, we didn't realize that the tour was going to coincide with the release of the album. So like I said, if you wait on God's promise and his timing, I promise you that you will not miss a beat. Think about it. We were delayed. We started working on the album in 2018. Everything got delayed. Then the pandemic happened. After the pandemic happened, Kingdom Business seasons 1 and seasons 2 had to be filmed. And in the midst of all of that, I'm writing and doing all this, and I'm like, God, why can't I get this album done? Because I had to walk through every step of that timing.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I did, because now looking back at it, writing certain things at a certain time and recalling the experiences from which those things came, it could not have happened in 2018.
Perfect time. See, wouldn't have been.
It wouldn't have
without
been
time.
ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
without time.
And so now we have 14 singles.
Beautiful.
Come on, somebody. They're not doing that like
Did
that
you catch
no more.
it? Did you catch
14 singles.
Not just some BC side.
Not-
'Cause sometimes
not-
be like,
come
now, what you
on.
put that on there for?
Come
Okay.
on now.
Okay.
Come on.
Singles.
Yes.
Strong songs.
Intentional
Yeah.
to bless you wherever you are in your journey.
Yeah.
Because that's where it came from. One day I was just on top of the world, and that's where powerful comes from. You know, one day I'm contemplating something, and so that's where when we pray comes from, you know, and then just wanting the best for my family members, that's where blessings comes from. And then testifying about the goodness of God, that's where church doors comes from. So you got to get the album. It's Sunny Days. So,
All-
you know, it's
all
all
kinds,
of that. It's
yes.
just, yeah, it's just amazing. And so I got the call from, oh man, from a young man in New York who's a good friend of our lawyers and stuff. And he's like, well, hey, have you thought about going on tour? You know, Kirk has this tour that he's going to do. And I know he was busy doing 100 million things.
Right.
And then I got a text from him. He's like, you joining us?
Look what we doing.
But see, that's how Kirk does it. He just,
What we
he
doing?
he never says, hey, can you do so and
Right.
so? It's like, hey,
Playground.
come on.
Right.
I know you want. I know you want to play. Come on. And you know I love him so much. So yes, I said yes, 1,000 times.
Beautiful.
And it all worked. Yeah. Because the single came out the first week we started the tour,
Right. Look at
and then 2 weeks later the entire project came out, and we're on tour doing Church Doors, which is our single, and people are loving it. They're loving it already, and I'm like,
fire. So when you see that, because even
Yes.
I was in State Farm Arena, and be it when you say turn on the lights on your phone, or just to look out and see people singing word for word your
Yeah.
songs, especially a new song. We know how that goes.
Especially a new
You know how
song.
that is.
Yes.
They're like, come on, listen to everybody. And they be like, you going to open our hearts? We going to do that, but wait a minute.
yeah, absolutely.
For them to be engaged, what does that,
Yes.
that has to be like oxygen.
I cannot cry and sing. I am not a good crying singer.
Multitasking, right.
I can't because no, because
Church
I ugly cry.
Okay, well.
Yeah.
Right,
I
go all the
ugly
way
cry with the shimmer and the shake
Right,
and
the quiver.
It's sad. And so when I see that, I'm like, God, you are awesome. And I keep saying that over and over and over because that keeps the tears from flowing.
Right.
And when we do the break from the original version to the house version,
Yeah, you
people jump up and they
Yes,
just
you
get
came on
excited,
down
and I'm
that-
like,
In it.
they love it. They
Yes,
love it. So
yes.
yeah,
That
it's
is-
exciting.
It's great.
It's
to
really
watch.
exciting.
That's
Yes.
beautiful. Now, speaking of excitement, you mentioned a verse in Ecclesiastes. I got a couple in Ephesians. But
Yes.
Ephesians 3:20
Yes.
is it for me, and I often
Uh-huh.
tell people of all ages, but especially young people, if it's saying that He can do exceedingly and abundantly above all you can ask, think, hope, or imagine. If it's
According
above
to the
what you
power-
imagine,
right.
according to the power that's
working
working
in you,
can't forget
and
that,
if
the
it's
power.
above what you
He
can
wants to
imagine,
outjump
come on,
your biggest dream.
absolutely.
So what is Yolanda Adams, if you can share one or two, hopes and dreams, your dream list?
Wow, my
What-
dream
something
list.
on your dream list.
Well, right now I'm in the process of purchasing another home. And there are just certain things that I need in the new home now that Taylor is no longer at the house on a 24/7 basis. But oh no, she still has her wing, child. Look, don't even. It's like she's
Not-
like,
not
"My
yet,
mom,
Vita.
I'm coming home."
that
okay,
is
okay, all
hilarious.
right. So that I have a wish list for that.
Okay.
And I want to be able, my immediate wish is, my immediate imagination, hopes and dreams, beyond, is to have Christmas at the new house.
Beautiful.
So God got to work real fast.
Do it, Jesus.
You can. I know you can.
I know you can.
You did it before.
And you'll do it again. Hey, you can send the offerings too.
Yes.
Okay, praise the Lord.
Send him to Vita.
That's what I receive it
Yes,
in
yes,
Jesus'
yes.
name. With gratitude.
Yes.
I don't want to keep you all day. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
I pray that the hand of the Lord remains on you and your family,
Absolutely.
and that he does exceed all your hopes and dreams.
Oh, yeah.
Family, she's one of a kind. It's Yolanda Adams. I'm Vita Howard for Praise 102.5.